Is Instagram headed the YouTube way with a subscription model? What's the C Visual app all about? And the Surface Pro X took a while to get here to India, but is it truly a bang for your buck? We answer all of these questions on this week's episode of Tech Today. I want to start off today's show with a question. Is Instagram heading the YouTube way? I'll tell you where I got that thought. Listen to this bite.
Now, creators do what they do to make a living, and it's important that that is predictable. And subscriptions are one of the best ways to have a predictable income. The first is stories. So creators are going to be able to go live just to their subscribers, and you can get exclusive access to those stories. The second is subscriber lives. So a creator can go live just to their subscribers. And the third is you'll get a subscriber badge, a little purple indicator, so the creator knows that you're a subscriber when they see you in comments, in DMs, or anywhere else across Instagram. So we're working on ways that creators can take their subscriber list and bring them off of Instagram to other apps and websites built by other companies.
So that was the head of Instagram, Adam Mosseri, talking about how Instagram is actually testing a subscription-based model similar to what YouTube does, but with a different set of features. Now, this is of course only available in the US with a small set of creators, but they have said that they will be looking to roll this out in other countries in the days to come. So we thought, let's figure out how does this feature actually work.
So, pause it.
Oh, sorry about that, guys. It looks like we've got mail, but I don't think I ordered anything. Or did I? Wait. Actually, let's use this in Unbox today. I did order this, but I ordered this maybe a few months ago. It's finally come on the sets of Tech Today, and I think this is the first time that you will be seeing this unboxing or review our experience on Indian television. But let's get back and not digress. Instagram, new feature coming soon, hopefully to India. We thought this is a feature meant for Gen Z, the generation who are actually going to be using this. So we got some of India's top Gen Z creators and figured out how this feature would actually change the whole Instagram game for them.
Hi guys, this is Astha Shah. I'm a digital content creator. I love making content.
Hi guys, I'm Tanisha. I'm a 19-year-old content creator on Instagram and YouTube.
Hello, I'm Aditya, as known as Nom Nom on Instagram.
Instagram putting it all under one roof is going to be really, really helpful, especially for content creators to, have a way of getting income will also be something that is going to be very motivating, especially for young creators.
This could be like a very fixed and regular income because there are some times that we are not probably doing a certain kind of deal, brand deal or something. Also, we'll have like a certain kind of motivation to put out that exclusive content for our audience because there is a reason why they are paying to watch our content, whether it's like a video, or it's a reel, it's a story, anything we like to put in those efforts to actually put out great and quality content.
It's a great way for you guys, like you said, to monetize, but also to have that one-on-one connection with your viewers, right? Will this change things for you? I'm sure it would.
If you'd say like 50% of my audience just watches it for entertainment person, and then there's this other 50% who watches it for educational person. So I get so many DMs stating that please keep a workshop on this thing, please keep a workshop on that thing. If Instagram will come up with the subscription thing, then it will like be definitely a boon for me because I'll just post one story. Like I'm having this workshop and you can just pay for like my live sessions.
What's it like currently being an Instagrammer? Is it a career you would say that you can do full time?
It gives me independence and it gives me the creative freedom to do anything I want. There is no restriction to my content.
It could be a full-time job and it is something great. I feel later in life, this is going to be considered as work experience. Now for brands, this has just become a pathway to, promote their products and other than like celebrities and stuff, even give us our opportunity to put out our talent and creativity by promoting their products in a different way.
What are the channels of monetizing at the moment, considering, subscriptions has not kicked in as yet? How do you monetize on your content?
There are a lot of photographers and videographers selling their presets, selling their transitions, selling a lot of stuff like that. And a lot of like your content, especially brand deals, comes in a lot because they are coming for you, for your brand. Like they want your face place with their products. So that really helps monetize as well.
What about you guys? Are there any creative ways that you've been using your pages and your platforms?
There's you putting out your idea into the real world and actually executing it properly. So that does take in a lot of efforts, and that's why I feel it could be a full-time job. This is going to be considered as work experience for anything.
We're talking a lot about Instagram, but for example, the subscriptions model is something that's what's been tried on YouTube already. How about YouTube for you guys? Is that a relevant platform at all?
30-second reel, something you cannot explain much, could be the entire process could be explained in a long-form content on YouTube. And there are many things which you could put out on YouTube, your own knowledge which could help other people, your any knowledge, like not even something related to education. It could be maybe, you know, fashion, makeup, anything, the entire process which someone really wants to learn.
What about Snapchat, Twitter, Josh, Taka, these things that are relevant for you guys?
I feel Twitter is a great place because like it's only like you talking to people. It's a great place to communicate with your community.
I think Instagram is the best thing because and to be honest, I'm not used to Twitter and all the other stuff. And if you talk about Snapchat, I just use it for my friend. I just send random snaps to my friend, but I can't use it for the monetization purpose, as you said.
A Snapchat, I don't know if it is that. I mean, there are creators who are on Snapchat as well, and it is a great platform as well. But it's like YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, you know.
Is there any reason or metrics on which you think it won't work, or any challenges that you think might come up with subscriptions?
You'll have to put in like that extra effort, for example, for your content. If you don't do that, maybe someone will not pay for your content. Why there should be a reason why the person is paying to see your content.
When they start paying for your content, you have pressure on you. If you don't take that pressure up, it's not gonna work because people can subscribe, but people can also unsubscribe. Today, you're just sharing content and there's like a lot of love and they're just watching it. Tomorrow, they will be paying for you. You are a product that in the end of the day, you will be selling. So if you do not put your 100%, it's not gonna work.
I'd like to think I'm quite young myself. However, I don't know much about Reels at all. So maybe we can just, you guys can teach us a little bit.
Got you.
Show us how it's done, right? Okay, cool. Let's do it.
This is the Microsoft Surface Pro X. And I'll tell you why I said it's been a while, because this device officially launched sometime in the end of 2019. Then people said a lot of things about it in 2020, and then in 2021 it got a refresh. But this has come to India this week. In fact, it's come to the sets of Tech Today, first day, first show. So I have a couple of questions that I want to ask Microsoft. Well, Microsoft, we're going to leave that to the end of this conversation. Well, our initial impressions, as always, Microsoft leaves no stone unturned when it comes to build quality. Well, as soon as you set it up, it looks like any other premium laptop, ultra next-gen hybrid 2-in-1 laptop PC. This one's expensive and it has a few nifty hacks that we loved about this device. But why is it different from its other siblings? The Surface Pro 8, the Pro 7 before that, or the Go series? That's because it runs on an ARM chip. No, it has nothing to do with your ARM, but it is a custom chip that Microsoft has made with Qualcomm. Similar to what Apple has been doing with its M1 or A14 or A15 chips. I love the way that they have this hidden compartment in the keyboard, which is magnetic the minute you plug it down. The Microsoft Slim Pen 2, which has quite some innovative features with it and charges in this dock as soon as you place it back there. Like other Surface devices, it's got a fantastic display. This one in particular is a 13-inch Pixel Sense display with a 2880 by 1920 resolution. That's around 267 ppi, an aspect ratio of 3:2. And the memory on this one is either 8 gigs or 16 GB of LPDDR4 RAM. You get a Microsoft SQ1 or an SQ2 processor that I told you about earlier. Now, how does a 2-in-1 hybrid like this really come into its own and really take on the MacBooks and whatnot? Well, that's when you can actually pluck it out, and it gives me that nice notification, and then leave the keyboard behind if you want the Surface Slim Pen, which is quite tiny compared to the Apple Pencil. And then you have a tablet, a 13-inch tablet. It's quite light. That's kind of interesting. And while the edges could have been well, maybe a little more rounded, and the bezels are much lesser than the Pro 8 or the Pro 7 series. But now the issues that you have with an ARM chip are something I want to address. An ARM chip like the one that they have in this usually has a lot of compatibility issues. So the manufacturer really has to work with some of the top applications. If you want to use the Adobe suite, Lightroom, Photoshop, Premiere Pro, those kinds of applications, then it depends on the Microsofts and the Apples and the Googles of the world if they've integrated and worked with these companies to give you an optimized version of that software. So then that's when this becomes not the ideal performance device. Also, what an ARM chip really does is gives you better battery. Microsoft says this one gives you around 15 hours. We've not tested it yet, but it looks about all right in terms of the battery whilst we've been using it on the set live for you. Now, something I hope Apple learns from Microsoft is although this Magic Keyboard is a work of art and it's really cool, there are issues with the Magic Keyboard. I can't bend it beyond certain angles. With this, I don't have to worry about the type cover keyboard or the signature Pro keyboard. What I have with the tablet is essentially a kickstand, and this comes with every Surface tablet. And once I have this kickstand, this becomes my multimedia consumption device. This is such a small innovation from the Microsoft hardware team, but it makes your life a whole lot easier. Now, when it comes to traditional laptops, and when you're using this in laptop mode, then it should be a lot more lappable, right? If that's a word. When you're comparing it even to an iPad with a Magic Keyboard, or a MacBook, or an HP or Dell laptop, at the end of the day, when they're on your lap, they're heavy, they're clunky, but they are stable. I can't say the same about the Surface Pro X. It's quite wobbly, it's quite shaky, and you don't feel confident when you place it on your lap. That said, if you're using this as your work from home companion, then you'll be using a lot of video calling apps like Zoom and even Microsoft Teams if you have to. And in that case, this becomes quite a nifty and a productive work from home companion because the camera is over here. And I'll tell you how the 5 megapixel camera on the front and the 10 at the back both produce quite stunning images. This is from the selfie camera of the Microsoft Surface Pro X. I'm looking straight at the camera, moving it around. This is the stabilization. This is what the colors are like. More importantly, if you can hear me clearly, this is the source sound on this device. It comes with dual array microphones, and you can compare it right now to, well, my professional microphone. Well, this is me back on the Tech Today mic. But what I'm trying to tell you is that this is a fantastic camera. But what is it like when it comes to pure performance, pure muscle? That's where this is a bit lacking, especially when you compare it to other rivals in the same price point. Let's come to the price. And the rival in this space becomes the MacBook Pro, not the MacBook Air, but the MacBook Pro, because this model costs around 94,000 rupees for consumers. You add the keyboard, the slim pen, another 25,000 rupees. If this is more than a lakh, basically, no matter what deal you get, you're comparing it to a MacBook Pro or an iPad Pro with a keyboard. Now, in that territory, from the Apple ecosystem, or even a fantastic laptop by HP or another company, look, when you're paying so much money, you want that sort of performance. You want to be able to use this for top Adobe apps, video editing, all sorts of compiling, Photoshop. That's when this becomes a little languid, a little laggy, and that's when you realize that your money is not necessarily well spent. My biggest problem with this is that while this looks good, it feels good, it's very premium, and that Microsoft does right all throughout, it's on Windows 11, something they had promised us would be great on these devices. And frankly, I can't find any issue with it. But if you're paying this sort of money, then you need a lot more features. Because I'm a little confused about who will go for this. Their own Pro 7, Pro 8 are far more capable laptops, and I think they'll be a bit cheaper as well. Or you just go and get another Windows laptop from another third-party manufacturer, or invest in a MacBook. So that's why I'm a little confused about whether to recommend this. But more importantly, let's address the elephant in the room, Microsoft. Firstly, ever since Satya Nadella took over at Microsoft, it's no secret that the company started focusing on the cloud business, cybersecurity, virtual reality, artificial intelligence. The hardware piece was not necessarily right on top of that priority list, and rightly so. But with the Microsoft Activision deal and what's happening in the gaming space, their plans for the metaverse, it's one of the biggest deals ever. And we know how Xbox and Game Pass are doing something which is changing the industry altogether. So this is what tech enthusiasts want. Surface Pro, Surface Studio, Go, Duo, whatever you come up with. All we want is an Xbox with Game Pass, fantastic Microsoft software, and premium hardware at an affordable rate, and it will sell like hotcakes. Well, that's the demand of all of us in the gaming and tech community. But a lot of you all have been placing a lot of requests and queries on the Tech Today social media handles. We'll be answering them, and there's a lot more on the other side of this commercial break. Please don't press the exit button. Welcome back to Tech Today. I'm your host Ayush Alavadi. Several states across the country are gearing up for elections, and the Election Commission of India has announced C-Vigil as an app that they'll be using to tackle corruption and any sort of violations. It's an innovative tech solution, and we are innovation first at Tech Today, which can actually ensure transparency and accountability. But what's that app really like? Team Tech Today brings you all the details.
The poll season is here, and as several states get closer to elections, the government seems to be throwing up new initiatives to ensure that this is a fair and free election process, one of which is the introduction of the C-Vigil app.
According to the government, there are no fast information channels to track or transmit complaints related to Model Code of Conduct violations, and the delay in reporting such violations often leads to the culprits evading the authorities. That's the gap C-Vigil is trying to plug. The app has been launched by the Election Commission of India in an effort to address such issues immediately. C-Vigil stands for Vigilant Citizen, and the app is counting on us, the people, to be proactive and responsible in order for a transparent election process. The C-Vigil app, available on iPhone and Android, is to be used to report violations from by-elections, assembly, parliamentary elections. You can do so from your registered number or anonymously. The app allows users to flag off violations by uploading photos, videos, or audio. Of course, you would need a phone with a camera, GPS access, and an internet connection.
So as the app has it, you can now quickly report an incident of political misconduct on that app as soon as it occurs without having to wait for an election officer to do so. But how do you use that app?
Well, all you need to do is click a photo or record 2-minute video of any act that violates the Model Code of Conduct and add a short description to register a complaint. The GIS, or Geographic Information System, information captured with a complaint automatically flags it off to the concerned district control room, so officials can be directed to the spot in a matter of minutes. Once submitted, you can also track the status of the complaint with a tracking ID. In our review, the app always needed GPS access for its main features.
Well, the user experience seems quite decent, and this app is quite easy to use in Hindi and in English. So this is a sure shot, innovative, unique way to use technology and play your part in ensuring a free and fair election process.
Well, it's that time of the show again where you get your tech queries answered, and we received quite a few of them. So we thought let's filter some of the top most relevant ones, because it's been quite an active week when it comes to tech news, in India especially. And the first question comes from Geet Panwar. Geet asks, is the Ola electric car for real, and when do you think they will launch? Well, for the former, of course, Bhavish Agarwal tweeted a rendered image of a hatchback with a windshield that extended all the way up to the back, and it looked like he was hinting at the launch of Ola's electric car. The image came a day after Ola Electric received $200 million of funding at a valuation of nearly $5 billion. And you know, out here I'm looking at the design and it looks quite futuristic. And of course, Bhavish Agarwal has said before that the company has plans to get into the four-wheeler EV space. But it's kind of interesting because there's an Ola logo in the front. It looks quite futuristic. The windshield looks cool, but clearly it's not going to look like this. I read a couple of articles which were talking about how this is the Tata Nexon competitor. It's way too early to be saying that at this point. But the final product will look a lot different than this rendered image that he's put out saying, can you guys keep a secret? So it's no secret. Now, in the latter half of your question, you say, when do you think they will launch? Your guess is as good as mine. But if I'm judging from their timelines with the S1 and S1 Pro electric scooters, they have been largely delayed. A lot of people on social media complaining about the delays in delivery. The pre-booking amounts were taken a while ago. They kept getting delayed, semiconductor shortage and the like. But a lot of people who've taken deliveries have also been complaining about the product on social media at least. So I'd imagine that if they are launching this four-wheeler and this futuristic looking car, they should take their time and make sure that they can commit to a timeline and they deliver. The next question comes from Saurabh Prakash. And Saurabh asks, which iPad are you using? I'm guessing the one on the set. And is it worth a buy? Well, Saurabh, I've been using the iPad Air 2020. I'm guessing this is the one you're talking about. I can easily take it out of the Magic Keyboard, which is an expensive accessory to get. And it's an okay device. It's a great device for the money that you get it for. But would I tell you to buy this right now? This particular version with an A14 chip? No. And I'll tell you why. That's because something has come to light in the last few days, and that is the fact that Apple is launching, most likely, and this is confirmed by Mark Gurman and a bunch of other leakers, an iPad Air 2022. Most likely with an A15 chip, which comes in the iPhone 13, along with an iPhone SE as well, which has been waiting for a refresh. If that's true, and they've gone by regulatory filings in Russia as well, based on that, there's a bunch of other models, but maybe they're just filing early. But at the spring event, you could very likely expect a new iPad Air in all its colors and all its glory, and an iPhone SE, so wait for it. The next question comes from Vineet Pandey. He's saying, when are we reviewing the Air car on Tech Today? Now, I can't promise you that. That's because the Air car might be real, but I don't have a pilot's license, so I can't fly it. It is actually a flying car. It's not an Apple product, it's a flying car, and it's as real as an Apple product, perhaps, but a lot more real than the Ola electric vehicle that we were talking about a while earlier. The Air car has gotten an airworthiness certificate. Now, if you're an adrenaline junkie, Klein Vision's flying car can actually hit speeds of 160 kilometers per hour and actually hit an altitude of 8,000 feet. That's no mean feat, so to speak, but that's about all the time we have on this episode of Tech Today. Please write into us whether you like the Surface Pro X, you enjoyed this segment, and what you think about Instagram going the YouTube way. If you're watching this on YouTube, then like, comment, share, and subscribe. Until next week, adios.